me feeling like I'm academics. Can't
you know, some of the things that's being alleged, you're talking about their mom too, right? Like, you know, the twins, I believe, twins are from Kim Porter, I believe. When y'all are saying that Diddy killed his baby moms, Kim Porter, you're talking about their mom, like, and they were talking about their dad. So it's like they're really involved. And a lot of people have said, you know, they're praying for the kids, even though they might think Diddy is guilty. Now the kids and, well, everyone seemingly has put out a post of solidarity. Okay, this was a group post. It was 5 individuals. You have Quincy, King Combs, Justin Combs, Prince ADC, Chance, and the Combs twins. The Combs twins are the girls, are the 2 girls, and then Chance is the other girl. You have King Combs, Justin Combs, and Quincy, which you can see pretty much everybody here. Twins right here, Quincy right here. I believe this is, what's her name again? I might be tripping. That's Chance. This is Chance. Prince, or I'm calling him Prince, but Justin Combs. This is Janice Combs, the mom, the matriarch, which is Diddy's mom. This is Diddy. This is the baby moms. I don't really know her name, but the baby moms of this newborn, Love Combs, and then we have Christian Combs. Okay, so they've put out a joint statement. By the way, this came after last week. We got a statement from the mom, basically saying, "I know y'all think that my son is a monster, but please, like, allow him to have his chance to explain, whether in court or otherwise, because these things aren't true." Now we see the family speaking out, saying this past month have devastated our family. Many have judged both him and us based on accusation, conspiracy theories, and false narratives that have spiraled into absurdity on social media. We stand united, supporting you every step of the way. We hold on to the truth, knowing it will prevail, and nothing will break the strength of our family. We miss you and love you, Dad. I think this was an important message for them to put out. And just like how I thought the mom's message was also important, whether people believed it or not, I thought this was important. As we get into the weeds and the realm of people now trying to pin other allegations on the sons, or basically look at the daughters, you know, there's been multiple stories about the daughters saying, oh, they're not really supporting the dad because they just realized that, you know, Diddy killed their mom. And people have wondered and speculated. They're like, oh, they're staying with a friend of Kim Porter. They're not staying with Diddy. So they actually think Diddy did it. And, you know, there's been so many rumors. This was a very clear stance that we believe our father is innocent. We don't think he did any of this shit. We love him and we want him free. You get what I'm saying? And this is why I think they put this out. Now, here's the truth about everything that we're seeing in regards to the statement. Unfortunately, I don't believe, you know, we haven't even heard Quincy at some of these events or involved in some of these stuff. We've heard some stuff about Christian, some stuff about, why do I keep calling him Prince? Justin. Regardless, here's the point. I think these kids are going off of the privilege that Diddy has afforded them, being their father, being a billionaire, how he's probably dealt with them. But their declaration of his innocence, to me, holds zero weight, right? Y'all not speaking towards the things he's been accused of. What y'all are speaking to is your relationship with him. Clearly, I love him. He's giving y'all a lifestyle that you don't have to work and your kids kids don't have to work. But what they're accusing him of is not mistreating his children. It's mistreating the women he's dealt with, dated. Is mistreating other women and men that have, you know, potentially tried to work with him. And other people just throughout his, you know, rise to the top. So for his kids to say he's innocent, to me, it holds zero weight. Of course, he's not gonna, you know, we haven't heard he's an incestual pedophile. Yeah, he's not trying to fuck his daughters. But it doesn't mean he hasn't, you know, tried to do some illegal stuff to other women. So again, I think this was a necessary statement. I give them props for putting out the statement, but the statement means nothing. Now, here's the thing that I would think would mean something, but they can't do. Well, some of you guys, well, especially Christian Combs and also Justin Combs, y'all are named in some of these allegations. And y'all have, been accused, or not necessarily accused of directly, but y'all could probably, Diddy can't speak at this moment. Like, no, even though I think his lawyer's a nimwit a bit, Diddy can't speak. Y'all could come out and kind of do a little bit more of a defense, but every time we see Christian these days, he's partying up with his girlfriend, Raven. And every time we see, we haven't seen Justin as much. Y'all could come out and really try to break some of this down and say, no, this chick is lying. Like, we never met her, or this was the real story here. But obviously, it wouldn't behoove or help none of y'all to explain this other than the court of law. The unfortunate thing is that, and I wonder what y'all think about, I want to be very clear. The current indictment against Diddy lists one victim, Cassie. She's not named directly. She's listed as victim one, but there's only one victim. It's clear as her because it mentions the footage of her getting beat up, and they list her as a victim. So it's Cassie. At this point, if you're on the Diddy tracker, we're up to like about 25 lawsuits, possibly more, right? How many of these other people that have sued him, how many of them are telling the truth or bullshit? And here's the thing. If I'm just throwing this into the air. If only one was true, let's say the Cassie thing, he's definitely guilty, right? Let's just say that. But let's say for the rest of them, they're just chasing money because they heard that Cassie got bread. Does it matter? To some, they might be like, no, if he was a predator and a abuser to Cassie, who gives a fuck if the others were telling the truth? He's a predator and an abuser. To some people, it does matter because, they feel when bullshit allegations pile on, it actually makes actual victims' voices be less heard, right? So there are schools of thought that go along with that. What I've realized, though, and as we're going to get into, I think we do have some stuff on some Jaguar Wright stuff, but I was listening to Dame Dash today, and I came up with, and I don't know why I got to preface it, but I got to preface it because I do read y'all comments, and I'll read y'all comments when I'm trying to play devil's advocate. Remember, we're having a conversation here. I'm not a DA. I know I read court documents, but I'm not DA. I'm not an AUSA. I'm not an assistant U.S. attorney. I can't put somebody in jail or prosecute them, nor am I a judge. I'm just a person just like you who are just going off what we see through the media and through some court documents. Now, to have discussions, we're going to have to play devil's advocates somehow. At times. Not all the time, but at times. So I'm not defending Diddy. And anytime I feel like I speak anything towards saying maybe someone's lying, not necessarily Cassie, because I actually do believe Cassie. But some of these other lawsuits, I'm like, what? They're like, yo, you're defending Cassie, right? Or you're not defending Cassie, you're defending Diddy. But let me ask you this, because I was listening to Dame Dash today. And I was just thinking about the totality of even what Dame Dash and other people are saying. And I'm going to just throw this out. Again, none of this means Diddy's innocent. Again, I think that Cassie's telling the truth. But do you believe that what's happening right now with Diddy, we haven't seen any successful person vocalize abuse, harassment, predatory behavior, or any type of sexual deviancy from Diddy? Not one person who's currently successful and thriving. Everybody who's speaking, and I was just kind of looking at it today, and with all due respect to even Dame Dash, and Dame Dash didn't really speak towards that, but he was speaking on a bunch of other stuff. He mentioned Kevin Hart, and he's been talking about Jay-Z, and I'm like, all of these people, it feels like, a little bit of it feels like a loser's redemption. All of the people who didn't make it, but now could use, and this isn't exclusively to Diddy. I think Jaguar Wright, she believes she would have been Beyonce if it wasn't for Jay-Z. So now she gets to use that as a way to explain the fact that she didn't make it, but then basically gets to levy all these allegations against Jay-Z by saying, this is why he made it and I didn't. Or this is why he went here or she went there and I didn't. Because I heard it with Dame Dash today, and I'm listening to Dame Dash, and Dame Dash was like, well, I wouldn't blah, blah, blah. That's why I'm here. I wouldn't sell out my people to the white man. He would do it. And I was just like, are we talking about the same thing anymore? Because I'm noticing one trend. Whether Jaguar Wright, whether Dawn Richards, whether Dame Dash, and Dame Dash respectfully, because that Dame Dash isn't saying nobody fucking touched him. But when they're speaking about these things and basically saying, oh yeah, these guys probably did some shit, in the next line, they always mention their work-related issues with the people. It's never mentioning those, because here's the thing. Being a predatorial, or like, I've always said Jay-Z is a staunch businessman. Like, I think he's a capitalist over anything. He will cut the neck off his own son. Like, you know, hyperbolic, you know what I mean? Just not really, but like, you know what I mean? He'll do that rather than, you know, like, he's a businessman. Doesn't mean he fucks little kids. Doesn't mean he beat women. And doesn't mean that he's sex trafficking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have somebody who's pretty, like, maybe he has fucked up practices while they're doing business, but they're not like a fucking creep. But these days, it feels like everything is like mixed into one. Jaguar Wright complained about her career now means all these guys are fucking kids. Dame Dash complained about how Jay-Z and his lawyer is trying to fuck up his sale of Rockefeller's interest. And now it's about, oh yeah, well, Jay looked like he was down with the predators and pedophiles back when, you know, when I saw him with Kelly. And I'm like, you're in that video too. Dawn Richards was seemingly okay until she says now, hey, the reason why we didn't make it is because we didn't perform sexual favors for this motherfucker. And I don't know, maybe I'm just looking at these situations where I'm like, yo, I'm going to keep it a being with you. And like Lil Rod literally was suing Diddy. Lil Rod was suing Diddy for unpaid wages for what he felt he contributed to an album, and never mentioned anything about him getting fucked or him getting sexually like abused until after everything happens. Now it turns into, oh yeah, this guy's a predator. So now it's not, so your work-related issue, same with the Lauren Pisciotta girl with Kanye. She wasn't saying Kanye sexually battered her or sexually assaulted her. She was literally only saying, Kanye told me he was going to pay me $4 million. I ain't getting $4 million. It was a verbal agreement. Give me my money. I was doing mad shit for you. You also had a toxic environment in the workplace. Then later she amends her complaint to say, well, he sexually assaulted me too. Huh? It feels like it's disgruntled employees. I'm not saying this is everybody though. But I'm saying I'm seeing a pattern with a few people. When your allegation only comes after you've tried to get money for unpaid work, or you've been trying to explain why you haven't been popping no more, it feels a little bit different, okay? Again, still not meaning these things are not true. Who knows what the reality is or the truth is with Sean P. Diddy Combs or, you know, Sean Jay-Z Carter or any of these other guys who's getting accused. But I did notice that, and I thought that was like eerily interesting. It's all the people who also say, yo, it's because I ain't want to touch kids with him. That's why my career didn't pop off. All right, cool. Anyway, there are conversations that's happening currently about, is Sean P. Diddy Combs cooperating? If you guys don't know, the news came down today. Abercrombie and Fitch, former CEO, has been arrested on sex trafficking charges. Now, this actually makes this really, really fucking interesting, people. I'm going to tell you why. Some of the details here are eerily, you know, when we think about sex trafficking, We think about taking somebody's passport, telling them they gotta do what you want to get their freedom, or if they want their family to get money back home, or you might hurt. Like, that's what we think about it. Like, people even think about, like, yo, you're throwing them into these like containers, or you're making them travel with against their will. That's kind of how we normally think about it. And with the Diddy case, it becomes a little bit interesting because then they start talking about sex trafficking as in flying out women. And that makes it odd because, you know, there's a lot of dudes, there's regular dudes who like, man, I've flown out a girl. Did I sex traffic her? You know what I mean? And, you know, some dudes were like, well, I've flown out a girl and like gave her $100 for her nails. Was that sex traffic? And it becomes a little bit interesting with the Diddy stuff because, you know, by the way, there is a very clear definition with the Diddy stuff, but like, I think the ignorance of people don't realize that sex trafficking isn't it doesn't only have to exist in a traditional definition of taking somebody's passport, having them work beyond their will and have to fuck random people and you're just having a ring going on. It could be what they're accusing Diddy of. It could be. It's just that it becomes gray area because it is a lot of, and it's kind of like sexual assault, right? Like you could have a sex with a girl and shit. Let's say in 2 scenarios, you had sex with her twice. She consented both times, but she's mad at you after the second time and she said, I never wanted to fuck you. Now, if you ain't recorded a sexual encounter and you have no proof that she said that she wanted to fuck you, she goes to the cops and says, I ain't want to fuck that nigga. So it becomes a little hazy there, right? Because I think that also applies to Diddy's situation because I think Diddy's saying, yo, these chicks wanted to do this shit. Yo, they were down. Like what's supposedly going to be Diddy's defense is, yo, they were coming to me because I'm the lit party guy. You come to the diddler because you know I got all the best drugs in motherfucking Miami and LA. You know I got the male prostitutes with the longest third leg, the baby arm. You get what I'm saying? You know I'm going to get you to fuck some of your favorite entertainers that you will never meet. You know I'm going to get this shit popping. And you know the party don't start till I walk in. And after the party is the after party, and after the after party is the freak off. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's his defense by saying, yo, this was like everybody knew you get to fuck with Diddy, and we get to that type of time, it's Freak Fest. But then the other people are going to be like, no, well, I didn't really want to do it. I felt I had to do it. You know, some people clearly are going to say, no, you made me do it. Like you forced me to do it. Now we're seeing the allegations come up like, yo, he's threatening them with like, I'm going to shoot you or I'm going to do something to your people, which these are kind of newer allegations. Or the most known one is I was too drugged out. I didn't know what was going on. Yes, of course. Yeah, shit. I didn't know the freak off was like this. So you gave me drugs. I couldn't make sound decisions. And then shit, you and XY rapper fucked me, right? So that's the brunt of the majority of the allegations. So they're a little bit more of interpretations, right? Clearly the drugs are a huge part of it because if you know, with a lot of these situations, even Cassie, if Cassie's saying I didn't want to do the freak offs, he was also beating my ass. Yes, there's, you know, women could be in fear if you're beating them saying you have to do it, cool. But she stayed with the dude for 10 years doing freak offs. At a certain point, you're like, remember there was this one chick who basically was saying Chris Brown sexually assaulted her? And I don't even know if it became a case, right? But like, Chris Brown provided a text message saying, how could I have sexually assaulted you when, yo, here you are the week after saying sex with me was amazing and that you want to fuck me again? How could that, like, so what's going to happen, and this is going to be Diddy's defense. How could I have done some of these things when these people kept coming back around? She was with it for 10 years. She was a habitual attender of blah, 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 blah. At what point? Why did it take till this year? No, and obviously you start, it becomes tennis. You hit the ball back over the net. The other person was going to be like, well, I was in fear of my life until I seen Cassie and you got locked up. Now I could talk out. So it's going to be a whole thing with that. But anyway, I say all that to say is that I think this is more of a traditional definition of sex trafficking. The former Abercrombie and Fitch CEO Mike Jeffries and 2 others were arrested on Tuesday, a part of a criminal sex trafficking investigation. Okay, it was done by the FBI and federal prosecutors in Brooklyn. Okay, matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. Justice.gov. Usually, if you go to justice.gov and you go about, is it about or you go to press, you could find when they usually make big indictments, they'll announce it on here. News, press releases, I think. Yeah, it's probably. I don't know if it's up here yet. News. Maybe just be a news. Yeah, this is. Yeah, it's not up here yet. Well, I don't know if they've scheduled a press conference, but usually you can find it on justice.gov. Regardless, I guess I got to see if this came from the same division. So the best division in all of the country for, just historically, for prosecuting anyone is the Southern District of New York. I've told you how many people have taken down. They're the ones going at Diddy. We've never seen them crap out on a case. I've never, from my time covering all these cases, I've never seen them embarrassed. When they come with some shit, what you're seeing happen in Atlanta with Jeffrey Williams and company versus Atlanta prosecutors or Fulton County prosecutors, we've never seen that happen when it comes to the Southern District of New York. When they come for you, they're coming with football numbers. So we're at least talking double digits, okay? We're looking at 10 to 60, okay? They're usually on point. Now, in other precincts of, the federal judiciary circuits or, districts where people file these lawsuits, I don't know if they're that successful or that bold. Like, they're bold enough to go after Trump, Diddy. They're the one who get like 6ix9ine, El Chapo. They do a lot, okay? So I got to see if this one is coming out of that same district. So that district is called SDNY, Southern District of New York. But it says in Brooklyn, I think that's still the Southern District. Yeah, it's still the Southern District. Brooklyn's the Southern District. Anyway, so Mike Jeffries was the former CEO of Abercrombie Fitch. They're saying him and his partner, Matt Smith, and a third man, Jim Jacobson, which, by the way, hey, I know people are saying they're trying to take down a successful black man. Hey, these are some white men right here. They're accused of operating an international sex trafficking and prostitution business that recruited young men. Now, this is where it gets into the stuff of everybody who's a conspiracy theorist. That I'm not a big conspiracy theory type of guy. I usually start saying the people who are conspiracy theorists, they're full of shit or they're mentally unstable. But then a broken clock be right twice a day. They be like, nah, they be having all this shit going on. Then you read a story like this, you're like, yeah, these motherfuckers did have some shit going on. Fuck. Anyway, so the guy who used to run Abercrombie and Fitch, him and two other guys, are accused of operating an international sex trafficking and prostitution business that recruited young men. So clearly, these guys were just trying to get young boys, like on some wild shit. It is trying to get some little boys to suck them off. This is crazy. For parties in the U.S. and abroad. Now, obviously, when we see for parties, that instantly gives us a parallel back to Diddy. Diddy's sexual abusive behaviors were linked and tied to what was called the freak-offs, which were an integral secluded after party type of thing. So it was kind of in the party context. Now we're hearing about some white dudes who are getting young men for parties in the U.S. and abroad. Okay, according to the 6-count indictment. All right, we could probably pull this up. You want me to pull this up real quick? I'll pull this up. Let's just pull up the indictment. Give me 1 second. I should have looked it up before. I'm telling you, I feel like a lawyer these days, chat. Like, yo, I look up a lawsuit. Like, if you know how quick I fucking look up a lawsuit, you'd be motherfucking shocked, man. Here we go. Here we go. I'm looking up on another screen. That's why you can't see it. Just got logged into a few things. All right, it's coming. Come on. Oh, did I spell that wrong? All right, I'm waiting a bit. while I wait, I'll probably get to the whole document. But they're saying that they're accused of operating. All right, we read that already. Did it load? Fuck, not yet. Okay. The former retail executive in Smith relied on their vast financial resources, and Jeffries was a Jeffries Powers, the CEO of Abercrombie. Oh, that's who I should look up. Did I put the wrong name in? No, yeah. All right, good. Yeah, so Jeffrey, as the CEO of Abercrombie, and numerous people, including Jacobson, and a network of employee contractors and security professionals, to run a business that was dedicated to fulfilling their sexual desires, ensuring that their international sex trafficking and prostitution business was kept secret. Federal prosecutors said the trio allegedly paid dozens of men to travel around the world to engage in sex acts over at least a 7-year period, starting in late 2008. That's another thing that we're going to see in a parallel to the Diddy case. By the way, there's a conversation, is Diddy cooperating? Diddy's indictment starts at 2008. Now, I'm going to do some additional research when I get off stream. Maybe 2008 there might be some statute on the book that probably amended how sex trafficking is prosecuted in or around 2008, because I can't see why these indictments only, like Diddy's indictment starts in 2008 and this indictment is starting from 2008. There has to be some statute on the book that is probably saying, hey, we consider this as of this date in 2008, sex trafficking, or some amendment. I'm going to find it. If not, it means maybe by pure or sheer coincidence that the year that they allege Diddy to start engaging, or the first year that they're looking into, 2008, of Diddy allegedly engaging in sex trafficking, they also allege these guys to supposedly be engaged in sex trafficking, which then you could come up with your own mind. Did Diddy drop the dime or what? You get what I'm saying? All right. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I put the wrong fucking name. No, did I put the wrong name? All right, cool. The indictment mentions 15 alleged victims identified from John Doe's 1 to 15. Now, this is very different from the Diddy indictment, where there's one victim listed. They're identified as victim 1. In this one, is more elaborate. They have 15 victims. Okay. Okay, I think I got it. Is this it? Oh, is this it? Fuck. Give me 1 second. All right, yeah, I got